right, day 4. Avoid the things that make you feel like caca. Okay, yesterday we talked about avoid the things that make you sad. And today we're talking about avoiding the things that make you feel like caca. These are additional things. Citric. No, let me. Okay, I'm gonna say the list first, and then I'm gonna say why. And here's why they are their own email and not included in day 3. All right. Here's the list first. Citrus, fruits. So citrus, any citrus, orange, lemon, yada yada yada. Acidic foods like tomatoes, caffeine, alcohol. Yes, alcohol was yesterday too. And soy. Okay, so technically that spells cacas instead of caca because I included soy here. Um, where am I going? Sorry. Okay, I included alcohol. So alcohol was yesterday and sad, and it's again here today because I wanted to spell something instead of just having some random acronym for you to remember. So this spells something, right? Cacas. Alcohol is worth repeating. Alcohol is hugely devastating for you when you're struggling with UTI symptoms. Hugely devastating. Until you get insulin sensitivity restored to some degree, alcohol is completely off the table. Sorry. It just is. Um, Citrus and acidic foods and caffeine. Let's look at citrus and acidic foods first, because caffeine, I kind of want to do today's video might be a little bit longer. So caffeine, I kind of want to do a little bit more in detailed discussion around. All right, citrus and acidic foods, these are just known to irritate the bladder lining. Right now, when you're actively struggling with UTI symptoms, once again, just so you know, if you're here because you have interstitial cystitis, at the end of the day, interstitial cystitis mimics UTI symptoms most of the time, right? Like you wouldn't be here if you didn't have urinary urgency, burning while peeing, those two in particular, along with it can be a whole litany of other symptoms. It can feel like inflammation in the bladder, which ain't comfortable, I know, a lot of the times, but ultimately, even that bladder irritate, even that inflamed feeling, mm, as uncomfortable as it can be, because it can be uncomfortable, it usually isn't as bad as the urgency and the burning while peeing. So citrus and acidic foods both irritate the bladder lining, they irritate the urethra lining. It's not a avoid these forever, it's an avoid these for now. Most of the time when we're actively dealing with UTI symptoms, we've got an upregulated bladder brain connection. Like that part of our nervous system is upregulated, which means it's super sensitized, which means any irritants are going to be that much more. It's like you're amplifying the effect of irritants. So just avoiding these for now until we get it's not a forever. It's an let's get this shit under control first and then play around with reintroducing these. That's where we are. Okay, so just know that. you know, um, several times throughout my life, I've done elimination diets. And when I first went gluten free, I couldn't imagine. I was like, I can't go. My doctor just asked me, just go 30 days without bread. Just 30 days. It's like, I can't imagine 30 days without bread. I just can't. She said, what about 3 weeks? Can you imagine 21 days without bread? I said, okay, that I can do. So that's where we started. And now it's been over a decade, and I would not reintroduce bread for the world into my diet. I mean, the difference in how I feel is night and day. So the same thing, whatever you have to do, if you love grapefruit or oranges or whatever it may be, and you're thinking, I can't. Tomatoes were really hard for me. We eat a lot of tomato-based dishes in this household, and so figuring out alternatives was tough. Um, but it turned out it wasn't impossible. It's just like, oh, that wasn't looking back, that wasn't that hard. Now, so it's kind of whatever you can do to make it seem easy at the beginning. That's what you do, and then the next thing you know, it just gets easier and easier. Caffeine. The delivery system matters. What I mean here is caffeine in coffee is completely different than caffeine in tea. I know this from experience. And so, caffeine is listed here because please don't be drinking energy drinks. Please don't be drinking energy drinks or soft drinks or any any of those things. It's listed here to cover that group. Coffee. Okay, this is my hesitation here. Coffee is problematic for many of us because of how it impacts cortisol. Coffee increases cortisol. It increases the body, um, it increases the body's, what am I trying to say? It increases the volume at which the body asks for cortisol to be released. Um, and so it can be extremely problematic for many of us. I myself was struggling with low cortisol, where my adrenal glands could not make sufficient levels of cortisol. And this was one of the many things that had me spiraling with UTI symptoms. So, coffee is especially problematic. I am a green tea fiend. Here's the problem with green tea, it does the opposite. So, whereas coffee is almost like it's turning the volume button up on the pituitary to send the signal to the adrenals to make cortisol, green tea is turning that volume button down. And when you're already dealing with dysregulated cortisol, either one of those, and when I say green tea because that's my drug of choice. It's tea in general. And so if you can eliminate caffeine in all forms, just know if you want to play with this, because you're like, I can't imagine my day without my cup of coffee in the morning. That's okay. Write down what you notice. If you're like, I can't imagine my mid-afternoon without a cup of tea, have your tea. Just notice around the time that you have that tea, what do you notice? Okay. So coffee and tea are kind of like with asterisks here. Um, and like I say, that's kind of why I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into caffeine. Alcohol, we've already talked about it. It deserves repeating on any list. You gotta ditch the alcohol. Once again, it's a for right now. It's not a for forever. Alcohol's going to be a longer. It'll probably be like for the next year. And if you happen to have, I mean, just full transparency, it'll probably be at least for the next year. Um, if you've got celebrations or whatever coming up, know that you will likely relapse when you drink alcohol. That's just the fact of the matter. Soy. Soy is another goitrogen. I cannot handle soy. I myself cannot handle soy protein. Soy protein causes, for me, Hashimoto's to flare. It's also I began to realize while I was moving through active UTI symptoms that it was problematic for that as well. So just another thing to notice: soy in all forms. We're talking tofu, soy protein in your protein bars, edamame, wherever else you might be getting like soy milk or anything else. Um, okay, totally realized that day 4 was a little longer. I'm going to catch you again on day 5. Bye.